guys, so just finished watching Iron Man 3, the next installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This came out a year after Marvel's The Avengers, and I completely forgot this was not directed by Jon Favreau. For some reason, I in my head I was like, Jon Favreau directed this one, but I forgot. No, this was directed by Shane Black. I completely forgot about this. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a long history where I just did not like this movie. And I'm gonna say this. Although I don't think this movie is top tier of the MCU, I had quite a fun time watching it this time around. Are there still a shit ton of plot holes? Yep. Is there a lot wrong with this movie? Yep. But I overall had a lot more fun with this movie, and I think it's better than a lot of the MCU movies we've had recently. And I definitely think it's better than the MCU movie we're going to talk about next tomorrow. It's better than the MCU movie we're going to talk about tomorrow. But I really like this movie. I like where they took Tony Stark. I like the idea of giving him a little bit of PTSD from the Battle of New York, and it is a logical step for his character of like what happened to him in the first Avengers and the repercussions of that. And I loved what that does to his relationship with Pepper, his friendship with Rhodey, and all this kind of stuff. I like what they did with I like the chemistry he had with the little kid, Harley, who I guess I'm not gonna lie, I guess some people thought he was going to be Iron Lad, and I'm not going to lie, part of me kind of hopes that maybe one day they'll decide to bring him back as Iron Lad, maybe one day. But yeah, no, I like that. I guess my issues really come from there are a lot of plot holes in the film. There are just a lot of things that just don't make sense to me. Like, number one, Tony has this house party protocol, and he uses it at the end to save the president, but he doesn't use it when there's 3 helicopters showing up at his front door to, shoot missiles at his house and his loved ones. That to me, it didn't make any sense back in 2013. It doesn't make any sense now in 2025. And also, I gotta say this. I will say, and the villain also. I still think the villain is weak. I love Guy Pearce as an actor. I think Guy Pearce is an incredible actor. I loved him in The Brutalist. I think he's an incredible actor. But his character was not that great in this movie. And I have to say, the twist with the Mandarin, although it really upset me back in 2013, watching it now, post-MCU, post many movies of the MCU, specifically post Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, this twist doesn't necessarily piss me off as much as it used to back in the day. It's kind of weird to think about because back then it really upset me, and I remember just as a comic book fan being like, how could they do this? I still think they should have done the traditional Mandarin in this film, but I get why they didn't, and I'm glad, in hindsight, I'm glad they didn't, and I'm glad they saved it for Shang-Chi, and we'll talk about that when we eventually get to that movie. But I do ultimately like, I gotta say, the twist didn't upset me this time around. When the twist happened, I was watching it going, okay, I'm not upset by that. Like, I didn't cringe. Like, every time I watch this movie, anytime I would watch this movie and that twist came around, I'd be like, oh, like, just, I cringe hard. This time I didn't do that. This time I just sat there. I was like, okay, I get it. So yeah, really enjoyed Iron Man 3 this time around. It's a really good movie, and yeah, I tomorrow we're gonna talk about Thor: The Dark World. Yeah. God. Oh, okay. Yeah. So join me tomorrow when we talk about Thor: The Dark World, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.